Live night news. If you're a lot like me, then you might not like you. Welcome to another episode of Hours of Clarity, and I got my friend John Colella. If you want to introduce yourself, feel free.
Yeah, I'm John Colella. I'm an alumni here at Brentwood for just under 2 years now.
Yeah, 2 years, eh? When did you come in on program?
January 16th, 24.
Right, full of ego, piss, and vinegar.
Yeah, didn't belong here, didn't need it. Just needed to clean up a little bit, and that was about it.
And then, wow, yeah, and then the blinders get lifted, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Still working on it,
bro. It's a work in progress, right?
Yeah.
So we'll just say, like, me and John, we didn't have a clear connection at the beginning of things, and I think it was because our egos mostly. For myself, I'm speaking on behalf of me. It was a lot to do with seeing a lot of me in you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely a lot of similarities there.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, thinking I knew what I was talking about and thinking I knew it all. And that was a problem I had to come to acceptance with, with a lot of different people, right? Having those reservations and judgments on people. You think that was an issue for you on program as well?
Oh, absolutely. In my first group, when we were done group, I went to the group leader's office and told him I didn't belong here. So, I don't relate to anything any of these guys just said, and I'm not, as bad as that, or I haven't done that.
Yeah.
I think I made a mistake.
Did he hit you with the yet?
Yeah, he definitely with the yet, and I had my moral high ground that I somehow thought I had. Yeah. It was like, no, it doesn't matter how bad it gets. There's no way I would do that, or I wouldn't do this.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you end up hitting some of them all-time lows, even in sobriety.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely been. It hasn't been linear.
Right.
It hasn't been linear. I think I fooled myself a little bit, like Tom says around here. There's that pink cloud.
Yeah.
I think by the time I was done program,
that honeymoon phase,
I was like above those clouds on the pink cloud, right? I felt like my last 8 to 10 weeks on program, I really grinded as hard as I could, and I was honest and trying to do all of the extras.
Let's pause right there. You said 8 to 10 weeks. What was it in the first 2 to 4 weeks as a 12-week program?
Yeah.
What was it that you weren't fucking getting, do you think?
The first week and a half, I had no intention of staying. I was here to stay clean because I had an intake in another recovery center.
Oh, okay.
I didn't tell anybody that.
Yeah.
And, it was the idea of a guy in detox, actually. He said, "You want to Brentwood, just come, don't tell him, and leave after your..."
Yeah.
My intake was my third Tuesday on program. And the one thing I could be honest with myself about was that at that point there was no way. I know what I would have done the Monday night before if I was at home.
Oh, 100%. Right? Celebration.
One last... Well, I would have started Sunday, so that way I could be clean Monday, but I'm not going to stop once I start, right? And I'm never going to make it there Tuesday.
Chances are quitting this too, going somewhere else, you're not even going to start it. Like, let's say the probability of you showing up after that party or whatever, it's like, come on, who are we kidding?
Absolutely. That was kind of my justification into coming here. It was the gentleman, like I said, in detox, and one of the staff members that actually worked here as well.
Yeah.
And they kind of talked me into it. Just go and leave from here, go straight
to
the other program.
If that's the idea.
Yeah, and my second week, near the end of the week, I had to walk out. 2 of my roommates were asked to leave property for breaking the rules for using.
And what did that do for you in that moment?
Definitely showed every side of my extreme emotions. The one of the 2 individuals, I put a lot of blame on for why they were both being removed.
Yeah.
A lot of anger, resentment, a lot of hostility when I was helping him. Not really helping him, but having him move out. And then I had to help the other gentleman who was a much older guy. I came from the street, didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
And I just, that walk, watching him walk down the alley to go back out to the real world, it crushed me. We were supposed to go bowling that day. I walked back in the room. I hadn't shown any emotion.
Yeah.
The first 10 days I'd been here.
So there's that separation anxiety now, this whole thing's going on.
I think it was my first hit of empathy, of real empathy.
Yeah.
I wasn't even close to this guy. We barely talked. We were in the same room.
It's just the fact you put yourself in his shoes.
But yeah, I was watching him walk down that alley, and I walked into the room, and all 60-something guys on program were sitting there, and I just broke down. I had no answer for it, and yeah, there was just something about it. And then the way that the fellowship and some of the alumni just kind of gravitated towards me and helped me work through it. And yeah, it didn't feel good, but it felt different. And I hadn't felt different in a long time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie and say that it felt good.
New emotions.
But it was new, and I thought I was sincerely in enough of a rut that there wasn't going to be anything new for me.
Right.
I basically came into recovery to prove a point that I was unfixable.
Listen to those words. I'm going to come for help, but prove that you can't fucking help me.
Yeah, my dad was my last. That's what it was. It was my last conversation with my dad in Tim Hortons.
Yeah,
and watching him get emotional, and I had made 2 attempts before in my own life, plans and everything, and chickened out or didn't follow through, however you want to word it. And I was on number 3. I was ready, and I was very determined. Like it was like next level.
Like it's some sort of a mission.
Yeah, I was determined that this time there was no way I was going to fail.
Yeah,
I was going to follow through, and he had pleaded the case a few times.
Let's talk about a plan. What was the plan? What was?
So it varied. The first time was pills. That I was not a pill user. I basically had one DOC and I stuck to it.
Yeah, let's pause there. What did you get addicted to? What was your addiction, drug of choice, whatever you want to call it? Cocaine, pure and simple. You weren't much of an alcoholic?
No,
like for drinking?
That was my first words to Paul when I came in.
Yeah, why do I got to call myself an alcoholic?
And I said, just cocaine.
Just cocaine.
But to me, most cocaine users were also heavy drinkers.
Right.
I usually only drank to basically take the edge off so I can continue.
That's right.
I'd go a month without drinking, no problem.
Yeah.
I didn't go more than 2 days.
So now you find yourself at a point of depression, planning to kill yourself with pills.
Yeah, that was the first time I took sleeping pills. Had a panic.
Yeah.
Basically, as I swallowed them, I choked them up. Ended up at my dad's house.
Right.
A few hours later, kind of told him where I was at. This is going back 2018. Told my dad where I was at. Minimized my drug use.
Of course.
Basically told him I drank and did drugs to give myself the courage to follow through with it. And it was a shock to my dad.
Yeah.
At least that I was to that point. I was that extreme as far as like my depression or how much I hated myself.
Yeah.
Because up to that point, I had a good career. I had my first son in high school. I had 2 boys by this point.
Yeah.
Coaching, doing all taking them on vacations.
Yeah, the wife, the kids, the white picket fence.
Yeah, and it looked like I was at least somewhat on a good path. I mean, there was definitely things that even before anybody in my family knew about any of my substance use or my mental health issues, that I got called on, right?
Yeah.
Manipulative or evasive, things like that. And I think I just kind of excused it as my nature being in the business I was in.
Right.
Well, I only answer what I'm asked, or I only answer what you need to know. And,
right.
I realized definitely coming through here in hindsight, like maybe I was good at that so quickly with no formal training or anything as far as my career, because I was so sick and alcoholic, right?
Yeah.
It was more that those traits just matched that career. So I remember telling my dad about that. And then my second time was in August 22, 2022. And I had been using heavily basically since COVID started. I had an excuse to use every day. I wasn't seeing my kids because of COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
So everything was just over a headset, playing video games, video calls.
Yeah.
And one thing I prided myself on, that right up until the day I got here, my kids have never seen me high. Definitely never even drunk.
But they see an absence.
Absolutely. Right. They saw the effects of using the day before, using 3 days before.
Right.
I can see now in hindsight how it affects my
attitude.
Attitude, temperament, everything, even just my perspective.
Yeah.
I was there, but I wasn't present.
And it's like the reactiveness of like being, like you're sober, you didn't use that day, but it's like you're reactive towards people. Yep. You know what I mean? That snappy, that fucking shortness.
Genuine.
Yeah, not as genuine at all. It's like nowadays you can have a problem and it's not the end of the fucking world, or not someone's fault. You're not yelling at somebody for it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you get through it, get past it, whatever, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So my kids had found out about my drug use in August of 22. And like you just said, I was pointing at somebody else. So a third party had told my kids.
Yeah.
And
it's their fault.
Yeah, like why would you tell them? There was no need. It doesn't affect them. I don't use around them.
Right.
And I see now, definitely with a lot of help from alumni and the counselor I had, I could see how that strikes fear in somebody else that doesn't have that lifestyle, doesn't have that addictive personality. There's the unknown. All they know about drug use is what they see on a movie, right? Scarface and Goodfellas, right? That's what I'm up to.
All of a sudden you're running the roads.
Yeah. So once my kids found out, my younger of the two, I have 5 kids now, but at the time, coming in, I had 2. And my younger one both were like attached at the hip.
Yeah.
They were always over anytime they had free time, even if it wasn't my day. And then now they didn't want to talk. The younger one didn't want to talk to me, didn't want to see me, wouldn't even be in the same house as me. If I showed up at my dad's for Easter, he would run outside crying, and I couldn't handle that emotion, right? So I decided the second time that I had convinced myself part of the reason I panicked with the pills was it was unfamiliar.
Right.
I didn't know how the pills were going to make me feel. I'd never taken medication.
Yeah.
So this time I thought, well, I'll give myself a heart attack.
Yeah.
Right, go down doing what I like to do. And
in abundance.
Yeah, and as quickly as I can.
Yeah.
And I got through quite a bit of it. Anxiety kicked in, started kind of freaking out, and that psychosis that, to be honest, the psychosis kind of saved me.
Yeah.
If I didn't go into that psychosis, I wouldn't have reached out.
Yeah.
My dad came and picked me up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I had explained to him what I had been doing for the last couple of hours prior.
Yeah.
Just trying to consume as much as I can, as fast as I can. And a lot of my use. See, I justified my use previously when I was still in my relationship with the kid's mom. It was just when I had free time.
Right.
And I showed up and I coached at 7 in the morning, and I didn't buy a second bag, and I didn't. Right. So I was okay. I didn't have a problem. And part of
that was ever okay.
Yeah, exactly. And
it's only illegal for
my
certain
justification
people.
Was very similar to why I felt like I didn't fit in here.
Yeah.
I looked at other people, and because they had it worse, I must not have a problem.
Right.
It's,
by comparison,
so
I
can't have a problem because he's got it worse.
And we're in the same treatment center.
Yeah. I still needed to come to the same place, right? And so for a long time I fooled myself. I have a few close friends that some have control and some didn't.
Yeah.
And the ones that didn't knew they didn't, and that's who I compare myself to.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? Well,
I wouldn't compare yourself to the guy that.
Not the one that can put it down and have no problem putting it down, or stop and go do what he has to do, and say no. That didn't matter.
Right.
Well, I can, so I don't have to say no.
That's right.
That was
exactly.
My justification. Yeah. So I just spiraled, and then when did I came in January 24? So in December of 23, I started seeing my boys again.
Yeah.
And
is this in the promise of going to treatment?
No.
Okay.
No, there was no. I said I was clean.
Holy fuck!
I just said I was clean, and they weren't coming solely. My oldest was. I would go pick him up, and he'd come cut the grass or whatever at my place. But my youngest was still hesitant, so it started with things like just going to their hockey games and stuff. And the first few times he wouldn't even talk to me after the game. We'd be standing there, my dad, his mom, my boys, and my youngest wouldn't even make eye contact with me.
That's got to be rough, eh? Especially too for whatever feelings he was going through.
Yeah, and me not. The only feeling I was having looking at him was guilt and shame, and doing nothing about it.
Right.
Like, I messed up, so I might as well keep messing up because I can't fix it.
It's weird that we all have the similar mentality, man, because I know in my disease, it was totally the same thing. Like, you already think I'm a fuck up? Watch me go. Like, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I'm only hurting myself.
That was a big one for me. That I didn't, again, I still say it, right? Almost 2 years into sobriety, where I use this, like, high horse that I've never used around my kids.
Right.
Right? But it really doesn't matter.
No.
And I did fool myself.
Well, it's weird because you might not have used drugs around the kids, but we definitely used our family members for our own purpose. Like, it's like not being a dad was a perfect irresponsibility for me because now I can get high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like I could be a failure at many things just so I can do what I want, right?
Yeah, it hit the nail on the head, man. As much as my first reaction was, okay, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
A few days after the kids finding out and seeing that there was a separation now from them from me.
Yeah.
After that kind of settled, for the next 2 years, I just used.
That's right.
Every day. In a month, I used 28 days.
And there's a subconscious feeling telling you it's wrong. There's something inside saying like this ain't fucking right.
Yeah.
But
that's so uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, and then so it's like I'll just keep using more to block that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just keep numbing it. So let's go back a few years, decades, whatever, to when you were young. Let's say, like, did you notice that you've had, addictive alcoholic tendencies in your personality since being younger, or when did you start using, into becoming a man, father?
I would say substance substance becoming part of the problem was much later, 24, 25.
Okay. How young were you when you first tried?
Like 50.
Okay.
But that was like, used it once when I was 15.
Right.
Next time I was 17.
Right.
I used it twice that year.
Yeah.
2 or 3 times when I was 18, 19, and 20. Then it started becoming like a once a month thing, early 20s.
Yeah.
Weekends that I didn't have the kids.
Yeah.
And not even every weekend I didn't have the kids, right? And this is where the justification would come in. Well, last weekend I took my girlfriend on vacation, or I didn't have to use. Now, as far as tendencies go, that's an answer I still don't really have. I wonder, it's that nature versus nurture debate that I struggle with.
I appreciate the honesty.
I do. It's just reality for me. I don't have an answer. I don't feel like it was nature, but I wasn't nurtured to be an addict.
Right.
Nobody
You didn't grow up in this household that was...
No, there was, substance aside, definitely an alcoholic household.
Okay.
My parents were divorced before I was 3.
Okay.
And I moved around a lot. 12 grade schools.
Oh, wow.
And a couple of high schools. I would say one of my parents' households was very alcoholic. The frequent relationships, chaotic relationships, with partners in and out of the house. And then even just the relationship between myself and my parent.
I'm going to take a guess. You're talking about the mother side?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so it's really weird.
With me and with my mom and I, we definitely, still to this day, that's something I have not
been able to...
Yeah.
Well, here's a relative speaking. It's something that, it's fucked up that you're even saying this, because when I was younger, my mom, even though my dad had custody of me, my mother had 58 different houses in Sault Ste. Marie. Okay, moved all over the place, different provinces, Winnipeg, Thunder Bay, you know what I mean? Different parts of the cities in Ontario. And it's like, just in Sault Ste. Marie alone, though, 58 houses. It's like, I watched my younger brothers and sister, they would go from being in one elementary school for the first semester, and then it's like by the end of the year they're in 3 different elementary schools. Like, how do you even make friends, right? And it's like, I didn't have to be a part of that entirely, but I would go visit on weekends. So it's like, first 1 month I'm going to visit my mom at this house. 3 months later I'm at this house. 3 months from that I'm at this house. It's like, when every landlord's a slumlord and every different boyfriend's a problem, and I'm like what the fuck? Like, dad's lived in the same house for 10 years.
And that very similar experience. My dad was here in Windsor, actually lived with his parents still.
Yeah.
We lived with my parents, with my grandparents when my parents got married.
Yeah.
Off the boat Italian family, super loving, super anti-alcoholic, almost to the extreme on the other end, where they talk about everything and they do everything together, right?
Yeah.
Where alcoholic tendency used to be alone, secluded, and not share, right? And I always thought I was watching my dad's side and watching how the relationships were at my dad's house, and trying to emulate it, but then that resentment would come in when I would go home. It's not like that. And rather than correcting it or doing my part, doing my best to just stay in that mindset, I contributed.
Yeah.
I absolutely contributed. I was probably the worst catalyst in the house.
Yeah, temper's flaring.
Oh yeah, by 5 or 6 years old, I had to be the worst. Because I'm 5 or 6, my justification would be I wasn't the adult. It wasn't my job to correct it.
Right.
But
you got to take a little bit of responsibility.
in hindsight, I was easily, maybe the house would have been at a 6 out of 10 as far as alcoholic. It was an 11 because I was there.
Yeah.
A lot of comparison. Comparison's been
to other kids, you mean? Like having a good home, or
other kids, mom's house to dad's house, grandparents' house to mom's house.
Yeah.
This grandparents to that grandparents.
And the manipulation starts early.
Yeah, the manipulation, the kind of, I would say guilt trip.
Yeah.
But when I hear the word guilt trip, the phrase guilt trip, I think, wanting you to feel bad for me, and instead I wanted her to feel bad about her. Right. Don't feel bad about me. You just should.
You're the piece of shit.
You should feel like shit, right? Yeah. And I made that a point every day.
Yeah.
To make her feel that way.
How's that weigh on you now?
It sucks. When I got off, I'd say about week 6 or 7, I had kind of had an aha moment. A good one-on-one with Tom, was the night staff at the time, and like an hour and a half I was in his office and we were just talking. We somehow got into that topic, and that topic had come up a million times, whether it was Paul, Al, other alumni, But for some reason that day it clicked, and I made an attempt for a while to kind of correct that or help that relationship. That's why it's a little tricky to answer that question now.
Right.
Because now, seeing that I feel like I was doing the best I could, you're getting reacclimated back into society. Now everyone knows your secret too.
That's right.
I'm the oldest of 7. I'm the only boy. I'm the oldest grandchild out of 15. I think expectations, whether they were real or just in my head.
The point is that they were there for you.
Internally, I had high expectations.
Right.
I was a strong student. I played every sport. A lot of compliments from family members, aunts, uncles, grandparents, second cousins, third cousins about the way I carried myself. But they didn't see how I was at home, right?
Yeah, let me carry myself to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Then behind closed doors.
Even my dad, I remember I was probably 11 or 12 when my dad finally had called me on it a little bit. Because he had said, my mom would always call him and kind of explain what I was doing, flip out. And he would be like, there is no way. This is my dad.
Right? That's not what I see.
Like, I've never seen him like that, right? That doesn't make... And then when we moved back to Windsor, whatever, I was about 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. And I was seeing him more frequently. And now, when there's an issue, I can call him and he'll just show up. Yeah. So now I'm calling heightened emotions and
then he can see the truth.
He could start to see that, the situation wasn't right that I'd be put in. But I definitely was making it worse, whether it was with aggression, like physically or especially verbally. I've always had a sharp tongue. I can cut you down really bad. And the more I know you, the more I know about you, and the more I know
the easier it is.
The worse I'm gonna.
The scars are gonna cut deep, and they're not even gonna be visual.
Oh yeah. They just sit there, right? And
you ever see that too with your family members, whoever it may be that you hurt? And as soon as you could see them in a good mood, laughing with whoever, having whatever moment they're having. As soon as you walk in the room, it's like all of a sudden things just change.
Yeah, even just I could be having. So this is kind of where the last break between my mother and I came was around Christmas time last year, and trying, but I was trying to do something else that did not involve her, and I went right back to that old guy, and she
shut down,
reverted back to the old her, and that's not a good
feeling.
It's not, and it's not.
And especially being sober, you can visualize it. You can definitely remember it, right? Yeah. So you're seeing it, you're remembering it, and you're feeling it.
Yeah. And then once the emotion's triggered, it's really hard to put that monster back in the cage.
Buddy, I've had moments like that where I just have to turn to apologize right away. That's why they say making amends when and where you can, but immediate action. And it's hey, sorry, that's the asshole I used to be, and I don't even know why I'm doing this to you. I apologize. I've had to have moments like that with my girlfriend recently, you know what I mean, where I just stand back and I'm I don't even know why I'm fucking doing this. Honestly, I apologize, and take that step back. It's if you can have the courage to do that, it's you probably, repair the damage as it's being done. But
I where I struggle too with this stuff still, with recovery in general, or the idea, all the facets to it, is that everything is repairable. I think some things for myself, maybe I'm just not at a point yet that I'm ready to kind of forgive and forget,
right? Or
I can handle it.
But that all comes in time, John.
Yeah,
that's a fucking a lapse. It has to just not a relapse. Go figure. So a lapse in time. It's if I can just allow things to happen whenever, you ever see those time lapses where they do the whole week or the month and they just do it and fast forward. It's if you can imagine allowing the concept of the sun's gonna set 7 times in 7 days. Well, I want it to set 7 times in 24 hours. Well, it's not gonna fucking happen. Right? The time lapse for whatever lapse of time it's gonna take is naturally gonna take its course. You know what I mean? So whenever you find the right moment in time to be able to overcome whatever adversities or challenges you're having in forgiving yourself or others in certain areas, it's just not about being reactive throughout that time and hurting people as you go, right?
And that's where I think the Brentwood list of priorities that they kind of ingrain in us help me step back a little bit, because the way it's taught to us here is recovery first.
Then family.
For somebody like myself, when they get specific, it's recovery, then kids. Then everything else.
That's right.
And when I noticed, with that outburst at Christmas time, that the part that bothered me the most when it was all said and done was watching my kids revert. Back to the damaged children. My 11-year-old losing his mind also on his grandmother, and then that turns into him fighting with his mom, fighting with his brother.
Isn't it fucked up? You can see him and you're going, whoa, that's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
Absolutely, yeah.
I know my daughter used to have moments where she was like, you know, in a bad mood and like I'm the bad guy, you know, and she's lashing out. I can't even say anything, bro. I'm like, I'm probably part of the reason why you're acting like this. Like, no, not even probably. I am part of the reason that you're acting like this. Yeah, like, I'm just kind of like, fuck.
I think with having the responsibility of kids and wanting that responsibility of kids, wanting to watch them grow, wanting to help them
excel in sports or education.
And everything, just as people, right? I know we can't decide whether they're ever going to feel the way that we've ever felt.
Right.
But I want to be able to lay my head down and know that I did my best, right? So I kind of took my focus away from thinking I could solve everything all at once.
Yeah.
And that's when my focus just has to be, right? Is being present when they need me to be present.
Right.
And not forcing. That's the big struggle I have with the parenting part, other than the co-parenting. But specifically with the kids is like with my oldest, right? He's 16. And when they found out about when they were told about my drug use, he seemed okay. He was all right with it. And I don't know if that's just, I'm speculating, but the way I've read the last 3-4 years, and his reactions and behavior towards me, when he was told, I think he justified it the same way I did. Well, he's never used it. Dad's not a problem. Some people drink. My dad does coke, right? Which is crazy. That's
again, speculation.
Something in my parenting obviously made him feel like he was okay with it because he had no hesitation. That I'll come over. Mom's just giving me a hard time, right?
Like I'm telling you this. Like if anybody could see this from an outside the perspective, like the actual like details of what you're explaining, it's just like they'd be sitting back, like, holy fuck, man! Yeah. Like, are you for real? Like, okay with you doing what and how and where and why? Like, buddy, fuck.
There was something was okay enough with him that he did not want to sever any relationship with me.
Well, that's good thing you had some support with like connections with your children, right? Because a lot of people get so defeated that they stay in their disease. Like we were talking about earlier. Like, fuck it. Like, I'm already a failure. Like, I'm just gonna keep.
Well, that's basic. I did both. With my oldest, I kept the connection. With my youngest, it became fuck it. He doesn't want to talk. And again, justifying, right? That's like one of my key things I can do. Yeah. Especially my disease, I justify. Yeah. It was, well, he doesn't want to talk to me, so I'm not going to.
And now he's at ball with you every week.
Yeah, everything. We do everything.
He's doing the scorecards, taking down the other lineups. Yeah, he's a good kid.
Yeah, he is. And then, and that's where the flip happened. So I had one kid that seemed almost unscathed by finding out about my drug use, and the other one that was completely distraught. Yeah. Like he just found out Superman's not actually super. And then I came here.
Just a man. Yeah.
Yeah. Barely even that.
He's just a fucking guy.
Barely even a man. Yeah. And then I came here and it flipped. Yeah. And again, it's speculation, but it feels like with my oldest, that once I came here, it was admitting I had a problem.
Right.
And that to him ripped the cape off. Where with my youngest, it was like, well,
right away.
I got Dad back. Dad's back to normal. He's not. I don't care now. Yeah. So it's like.
Isn't it weird? It had a flip effect on it.
Yeah, on two different kids from the same two parents. They grew up in the same household, right?
It just goes to show you that everybody's going to handle different details, facts, emotions, different events in different ways.
And that's been the hardest part, right? Is like what works for one doesn't work for the other,
right?
And that's doing things on their time and not
bro, it's the same thing with guys on program. Accepting people for where they're at in life. Life on life's terms. All these cliches, like just take it an hour at a time, a day at a time, a minute at a time, whatever it is, right? Being able to accept people for where they're at in life and then not having this reaction towards it. Like, I got to be able to be okay with, certain people struggling and not having judgments. And if I do have a judgment, go and talk to them. Yeah. Get over that fucking self-righteous feeling of like, you know what, this guy's fucked. Or for whatever reason, I don't like you. I have to like, hey man, what's your name? What are you going through? How are you? And I find out in 15, 20 minutes that he ain't that bad of a dude. You know what I mean? Or there's something I might have been able to help the guy with, right? I don't know. That's why I admire you for coming back like every fucking day for the first year, just like I did. And then it's like these moments that were pivotal in my recovery only happened because I stayed here.
That's absolutely it.
So if I was to ask you the best thing you find from the Brentwood Recovery Home itself and as a whole, okay?
Like what they offer?
What the best thing is about this place?
The capability of coming in, volunteering as much as I want. Like I'm here. I've missed 19 days in the last almost 21 months.
So aftercare.
But it's how open the aftercare is.
Right.
No other
the programs. Volunteering, the counseling, they help you out.
Works for you, right? Some guys don't want to go to group. Like I enjoy group. I enjoy sitting there, and then when you know, and depending on the vibe or whatever's going on in the house at the time, sometimes I'm kind of leaned on to share and talk more than other times.
Yeah.
I like that dynamic.
Yeah.
For other guys that maybe aren't as comfortable with that,
there's still one-on-ones.
Yeah, there's one-on-one time.
Volunteering. There's still, you can go out for social events like bowling or baseball.
We've got so many different things that we can do here. Even if you come when the last meeting's at 7 o'clock, just watch a football game with the guys, watch a hockey game
because it's open till 11.
Yeah.
And this is the thing too, it's funny that like I had a feeling, this was one of the main questions I wanted to ask you, is what you thought the best thing was about Brentwood, because
it's the availability, man.
Right.
24 hours a day. I come here at 2 in the morning.
It's the same shit that I was gonna say, just with different words. Because for me, it's the aftercare. It's being able to come in the door 24/7. If I need to talk to somebody, the duty desk guy works here even after 11. So I can have a conversation with him. I can even call the phone. Yeah. You know what I mean? So there's always a conversation to be had.
And it's not a stranger.
Yeah.
It's a guy that
you know is going to know you.
Intimate detail about everything good and bad.
And you're not going to be judged.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. It's like, I realized about, I don't know, week 4. I'm like, so why do these fucking people keep coming in? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is the reason?
I thought it was because it was a cult.
I thought they were all fucking liars, bro.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you're 30 fucking years sober. Like, there's no fucking way. Like, sure you are, bud. And the only reason why I didn't believe it was because I knew I still had reservations.
Yeah.
Somewhere in my fucking bones, in my body, in my mind, in my soul, I knew, okay, I can still smoke weed or I can have a beer here and there. You know, and I had full intentions on it. I had to come to a point in my program where I'm like, no, you know what, this guy ain't lying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why that this place is so special. And I'm like, wait a minute, I can come here right after I graduate and I can be an example to other people. And that's when it hit me. I have a fucking purpose. Mm-hmm. So Brentwood's aftercare allows me to sign right in at the front door, come for a meeting the day I graduate.
Yeah.
I leave at 10:30 in the morning on Saturday and graduated, and I get to sign in for the 6 o'clock meeting and be an example to other people.
Yeah.
Wow. Every other place in the whole entire fucking world that I know of, yeah. And I've been to many treatment centers, it's like they have to have you call ahead.
Yeah, you have like designated dates.
Yeah, you got to be pre-approved, right? And you might get to go there for an hour or two to do a talk, and then you're up.
That's it too, right? Like you're just talking at that point. To me, the difference, and so I've gone and done talks at other mental health awareness or places that I've asked
in the city,
and I feel more like I'm talking at them.
Well, that's what they're here to hear, right? Yeah. And you're there to talk. So there's a purpose. Right now, you're even on Hours of Clarity podcast because we're having a one-on-one.
Yeah, that's
you're getting your story out. We're talking about things that you went through, and we're talking about the being.
These two guys, like we're in the same group for the last 2 years.
That's right.
And there's still things
that we haven't talked about.
Yeah, that's what I like. That seems very different from what I've heard from any other treatment center.
Right.
I've been very fortunate so far that this is the only time I've ever been to treatment.
Mm-hmm. And you fell in love with it.
Yeah. You know what I felt?
He's smirking.
I am chaotic by nature, and I strive in that environment. But this is a healthy chaos.
That's right.
Like you said, with guys on program, there's guys that they come in, like I was, and I'm going to buck everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to question everything. Yeah. I'm going to prove everything wrong with some, super small 0.01% chance of, well, if this happened, then you'd be complete. And it's just ridiculous.
But that did fucking happen, right?
And then...
Did you hear Paul talk about the breakfast with me? You might have... man, as soon as I came in, it was the fucking...
because the cereal?
Oh, the whole thing. The whole fucking thing. What do you mean this is what you have to offer for breakfast? And this is a recovery home? And all these fucking things. The places I've been to, there's bacon and eggs that you cook for yourself, and you can make this and that and I was carrying on. He's like, you don't like it, leave.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what the counselor has to say to me?
No,
you don't like it? Fucking leave? That was day 3, I think, for me, or something like that. Day 3 or 4.
I think I cried wolf enough times the first week. It had to be probably around the same time, day 3 or 4, when he stopped helping me justify staying.
Yeah.
Just started saying, then just go, man.
That's it.
Every time we're going to have this conversation, just go.
Yeah, like if you don't like it here, you don't have to stay.
And then there is...
I was ready to report him to management for fuck's sake.
I hate it. And I think that was part of the advantage.
I love it.
And why I say I'm grateful that this was the first place I went to is I didn't have other places to compare to.
Right.
And I can see how that could be a holdup, because this is, again, I'm just going by third party, like hearing other people's experiences in other treatment centers, and this seems very different. Even just the approach when you're on program, let alone the aftercare part.
That's right.
But the approach on program is very, very different, even more so when we were on. It's even now.
Yeah. No changes.
But me not having that thing to compare to, as far as I know, this is what recovery is.
Right.
It just happens.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, John. Being a person that did go to different places, it's not as emotionally driven, like in spiritual connection. So this place is the only thing that worked for me.
I think it's the only thing that worked for me.
Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like, don't like.
What are the other places like?
Well, there's a lot of different.
It's like book learning.
Yeah, it's book learning. It's like, okay, so it's like.
Tell you how drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad, okay?
Like we already knew that.
Right. So the thing is, like, they make you write letters, right? So when you come in, a couple places, they'll get a name of people in your life. So, you know, mom, dad, brothers, sisters, girlfriend, kids. And then they make you write letters to these people throughout the program. And you don't send them. You read them to the group, and then you burn them. And then another place that, like, at the same type of system, they would get the people in your family that you give the names of, try to contact them and have them email letters, and they would read the letters in front of your group to you.
So you can hear their perspective.
Yeah. So it works, right? But then there's no aftercare. Like, the aftercare is go to AA, right? Continue your 12 steps, because it's mostly 12-step based, right? So they're going to get you to start the first 4 or 5 steps, right? And I got to inventory, right? And then I shared my inventories with the person, but then you're graduating. So now it's up to you to go to meetings and get sponsors. Like, you should have put in your own work anyway. But there's nobody holding me accountable. Like, you know how they have open arms of service here?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's somebody calling you for the first 4 weeks, even if you try to avoid it, right? Like, even if I don't want anybody to call me, and I've done
plus all the guys are on program.
Right. So that's what I mean. Like, there's people that give a shit. Yeah. It's like spiritually and emotionally connecting on so many levels at Brentwood that I couldn't avoid liking it or hating it. It's like, I'm either going to fucking quit this because I don't give a fuck and I'm going to stay with that attitude and I'm never going to learn nothing, or I'm eventually going to realize that I have so much of a meaning and a purpose here that I fall in love with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's just self-driven from there.
Yeah.
That's what happened with me, right? So it's like all these other treatment centers, like, you could float through with and get to the day. You could just get through.
Okay.
That's the way I felt about it.
All right. Yeah,
you know,
that's very similar to the experience I've heard from most guys.
Yeah.
I had a friend before.
Well, think about your first 2 weeks being here. Like, just show up.
But I think the length of time that we're here, I think also
affects it too.
Contributes, right?
100%.
Because like you're saying, outside of even open arms, I remember graduating and I hadn't even sent my commitments out yet.
Yeah.
And there were certain guys that made a point of taking my number, not just writing it in my
right.
book for me to call them. And they were hitting, where's your commitment?
Right.
9 o'clock, Johnny, where's your commitment, right? Or coming in here, where's your commitment? And I think getting that extra time, you're having the 12 weeks, you have so much time to detox.
That's right.
Spiritually and substance, like chemically. And then these guys watching, and I can say this now because I'm on the other side, like watching guys grow, like you get this investment in them where you do chase them a little bit at first, right?
Well, because you want them to succeed. It's like, and especially this, okay, you see somebody doing really well and you're proud of them, and it's like, buddy, don't let me down. Like, don't fucking let me down after all the shit I've seen you do. Like, you're doing good, and like, just fucking please stay with it.
Seeing that, and your wording there, that's been the biggest change I feel if I'm self-reflecting on my approach or my growth.
I was gonna ask you about this because there's moments in time where I'm like fucking just like getting mad at somebody that I'm proud of, okay, or wanting them to do better, or corrective behavior, right? And like, I can only see it because I've done it, right? So it's like, fuck, man.
You mean like your parents would have done, or your
yeah, bro. And then I go home and it's like, it could be a day, it could be a week, and I'm like, I need to apologize to that guy because there's no reason why I couldn't have shown him a better example of somebody who gave a shit. You know, because if I truly care, like, why am I beating you up while you're already beating yourself up?
And that's what I was going to point out about your wording too, of when you see how far this guy's come along, like how much work he's done.
That's right.
I feel like I had hit a point a few months after the program, and I was really involved. I was here every day for my first 2.5 months, and then like all day every day, and then I went to at least 2 meetings a day for the next 6.
Yeah.
And I started taking on sponsees at like 8-9 months.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was going backwards a little bit for a little while, where it was, I don't want to see this guy go down because of how much work I'm putting in.
Yeah, backwards. Right? You're taking credit for his sobriety.
Exactly, because then when they would go down, like, why would it affect me for so long? We're so extreme. And it was like, I was feeling like a failure. Well, I didn't fail. Like, if I go back out and use...
You know what they say in other programs, right? Like the AA and NA, is the sponsee's responsibility to call you as a sponsor.
Yeah.
So, like, I had to take a step back from people. One, I had a fucking minor relapse in my life, right? But... 2, it's like I realized how overwhelming it is having 7, 8, 9 guys. Yeah. And I'm going like, I don't even know about me today.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Well, and that's when I had, so that we, again, with how many alumni that come around here all the time that have a lot more experience. spirits, and James is one that I pick his brain a lot because he's got the opposite demeanor to what I have. He's
very calm, collective, cool, genuine.
He's just like a happy, like he's
for some reason
all the time.
You can't piss that guy off.
I cannot even picture that guy.
Bro, I asked him for like 3 favors in one day. I asked him for a ride. The ride turned in, we need to go here too, and can we do this as well? And
with a smile on his face.
Bro, I couldn't even believe him. Like, I don't know if it's impossible, or if it's even possible to annoy this guy. Like, fuck.
So I would reach out to him frequently because there was one individual that it really affected me, and this was not a sponsee. It was somebody that I just went through program with, and watching them go the opposite way was driving me crazy to the point where I was seeing myself go backwards. Not that using is an option, but using is like the last.
Bro, it's only 5% of the issue.
By the time I use, I've done a million terrible things.
Right,
like if I go back out, there's a million terrible things.
I'm relapsing in behavior, in emotion, in mentality.
My emotion, my mentality. I was coming in, and I was a drill sergeant, even with the guys on program. I wasn't open and caring. It was more about, you're an idiot if you're not
nitpicking this and that.
Yeah, rather than just like soaking it up, watching. It's like playing sports, right? If I watch how the play's unfolding, I know how I can affect it rather than thinking I can just go in like a bull in a china
and
shop.
make the play happen.
Yeah.
Right.
It's trying to utilize what everybody's strengths and weaknesses.
That's what they call being a part of, Johnny boy. Be a part of instead of being of. Right? Exactly. It's not the John show, right?
And that's where James helped me.
Bro, and you know what? He's such an amazing guy that I've seen moments where, like, I think people are going to fail, and then it turns out they say a month down the road they have, and that guy has been there, helping them with furniture or giving them rides or getting them to be a part of. When they come back in, guess who's still there helping them? James. And I'm going like, man, I had such a big resentment towards that guy, or like an opinion or a judgment, right? And it's not like I would have said anything or done anything to try and be detrimental to that person's like life or recovery. I'm not going to like open.
But it's putting a block between.
Yeah, it definitely stops me from being able to be helpful to that person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, man. So I'm the one that fucked up because I seen it. I could have done something about it.
Yeah.
Where James, like, being,
and your growth stops. Even
bro,
if you're not helping them, you stop growing.
100%.
And
I'm miserable for that 10 minutes, that hour, whatever.
Like you said, the cliches around here, right?
Yeah.
There's that cliche if you're not growing, you're going backwards.
That's right. The relapse starts way before picking up does. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where I felt like I got to, and
I wanted to talk a little bit about amends and maybe what that looks like for you, or what it did for you, if you had any on program, or if you had people in your life, like we were just talking about, family members and stuff. What did that look like for you? Because we've had talks about forgiveness. Okay, and then
it's my worst thought.
I know, that's why. That's exactly why I'm bringing it up.
My worst thought.
Yeah, because we've had these talks, and I know you don't like the forgiveness thing. So I want to see where you're at. Pick your brain a little bit about what you thought coming in, and okay, let's even go before treatment. There's no such thing. Okay, the word it was just a word.
Yeah. Forgiveness it's not possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you had to have earned enough credit with me.
Yeah, I will never forget.
Yeah. And you can't live it down. And that's how I was. And then I remember coming in, and forgiveness would have been right around when probably week 2 of me turning my perspective on, I'm going to buck this to, why not just give it my all? And then if I prove myself right that I'm unfixable, then I did. But why not try?
Scenario. Like,
that's exactly how
I'm going to prove that
That's how I came in.
I'm uncokable. I'm going to be doing coke for the rest of my life.
Mine was a justification to end my life. I was ready to go, had that conversation with my dad, and in my sick, twisted justification was, if I go to treatment and I come out and I still want to die, then my dad might be able to sleep better, knowing that he did everything he could. And look, I even went to treatment, and I was right. I'm not fixable. I was. My dad used to say it to me. I remember Paul saying it to me on program, and me questioning if my dad called him terminally unique. Yeah. My dad used to say, you're just terminally unique. Nobody gets it, right? Nobody gets it.
And it's funny that your group leader
said it.
He wants to talk to my dad.
My dad.
Yeah, you fucking guy. I know you guys are in cahoots.
Everyone's conspiring against me.
That's right.
But yeah, so I remember having forgiveness, and I remember having a one-on-one with you after the 10:30 one time during the forgiveness topic when I was on program, because I just feel like if it's a part of your brain, it was born without it.
Yeah. That's sociopathic. People don't have any emotion towards forgiving anything or even being able to let things go. It's like, that's a sociopathic tendency, bro.
And that's
no emotion.
Trying to find.
What did we talk about in this one-on-one? I'm curious.
So my third child is not my child.
Okay.
It was during my separation time.
Yeah.
And week 4, the conversation had started about maybe rekindling the relationship, and we'd been apart like 6 years.
Okay.
And I came in on the weekend after her approaching me about this, and at first, high, pink cloud.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe this was even an opportunity. This wasn't even a thought in my mind.
Right.
And then it kind of set in. Now I've got this kid that's not mine. That's going to be living with me, whose dad is in the picture.
Yeah.
So it's not like I can just pretend he doesn't exist.
No. And then you're not going to become this.
And by the, whatever it was, Tuesday or Wednesday, when you and I had that conversation, I had completely crashed again.
Yeah.
I was like, F this. It was weird. It was trying to handle that reality clean and sober. My substance use went through the roof once that child was conceived.
Yeah.
When I found out that she was engaged and she was having this other kid.
It's weird how we can use any excuse to fuck our lives up.
That was the first time I tried.
You're gonna do this? Well, watch me die.
Yeah. That was when the idea of suicide became not just an idea.
Fruition, in a sense. It comes to life.
It was gonna happen. Like it was inevitable at that point. It was gonna happen. The kids didn't need me anymore.
And look at yourself now. So it's like, how many people struggle out there with mental health issues that have, suicidal tendencies or thoughts or behaviors that, there is a point in life where we can get to that it's no longer a viable option.
Yeah,
like it actually makes more sense to like get through that.
I have a hard time even recollecting what it felt like.
That's okay. Did you see the look on my face?
Yeah.
I was like trying to go back to like being that depressed because I've been there.
I can't even tell you what it feels like.
I know, right? So it's like you get through it and you become.
You asked me like, when did that alcoholic tendency start?
Mm-hmm.
And there was something I had never talked about it until I was here. I remember being in grade school and a kid having cancer at another school, but a close friend of mine was friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a couple years older than me. He was going to die, and I was pretty young, really like 7. And when people say, I wish I could take your pain, or I wish I could do this instead of you.
Yeah.
Coming through program and like really having to look at the depth of my thoughts and my emotions. That's kind of when it started. I started fantasizing about my own death, and I was not that stereotypical. Even when I came in here.
When you put that into question, do you think it had to do with the attention that kid was getting? Because
no, there was something about not feeling comfortable.
It just struck me when you were talking that I used to seek attention that way. It didn't matter if it was negative or positive. I wanted what other people had.
I definitely can see that with, like, I have family members or have had friends that kind of presented those tendencies where it was like that was their cry for help.
Right.
As far as I know, the only time that my dad, who to me is the person I was the closest to my whole life, especially with moving schools, right? So much in different cities, and he was completely blindsided by the fact that I wanted to die. I didn't present as somebody that wanted that Eeyore self-pity topic. I think I heard that one 4 times before I acknowledged that I had it. Because to me, self-pity is Eeyore. You have never seen me around here moping around.
No.
Oh, poor me. Everybody feel bad for me.
Yeah.
I don't want that kind of attention. There was just something.
Self-pity can take on many forms.
Jealousy, things like that.
Yeah.
Envy is where I get mine.
Or even being closed off from forgiveness, like we were just talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Being stuck in that fucking why isn't it about me mentality. So let's get back to the amends.
Yeah.
Where did you find yourself in program with that forgiveness or amends kind of thinking, the topic of, and then how do you feel now about it?
Well, I think I know it's crucial. Without it, it's impossible to move forward. I do not have some magic algorithm to helping anybody figure it out. I think I go back to a lot of cliches that kind of help get the ball started for me. It was kind of the same way I referred to self-esteem for myself. When I came in, I had 0. If you could have negative, I had it. But at one point, about week 5, I remember feeling like, if it's on a percentage scale, I got 1%.
Yeah.
I could snowball 1%. If you give me $1, I can turn it into 10.
Yeah.
And with forgiveness, I feel like I kind of leaned into some of those cliches of, I am where I am today.
Yeah.
What am I going to do about it? So, for example, with my third son.
Good question. What am I going to do about it? Period.
And that was the core, the biggest issue for me, when I was on program, that I felt like I had to get over the hump of forgiveness with, or acceptance, was Riker, was my middle son, right? Him not being mine, because that seemed like that was going to be the one resentment that I needed to get over
in order to continue.
Like it was the most, I don't know, current, like something I was going to have to deal with today.
Yeah.
Right? I have things that happened to me when I was a kid.
Then they'll keep getting dug up.
Those things I'll deal with later, but this has to be dealt with now, or I'm just going to keep burning. I'm going to keep burning down whatever it is I'm trying to build. And it was like, okay, have gratitude. I have this other kid in my life now. Rather than him hating me or not knowing me, I have this opportunity to build another. I love kids. If this place was full of kids, I would never leave.
I remember you saying something when you're on program, and I kind of thought you were full of shit, but I can see now it's different. That you, like, if this place was packed with kids, you wouldn't even be spending time with the men on program. You'd be playing with the kids, hanging out with the kids. And I remember you saying that, because
give me a room of 100 kids throwing a temper tantrum, and I promise you I will keep my temperament way better than one guy throwing a fit.
Right, exactly. I remember you saying that way back in the day too, and it's like I kind of understand now, because it's like coaching, divulging yourself into like your children's lives, other kids' lives too, having other people's parents revolve around the sporting events, education. Like, I get it. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, so I just kind of leaned into that, and it's like, you know what? I don't have to forgive. I can't forget that this is not.
But you also don't have to let it hold you.
And that's one of the cliches, right? Like, am I gonna let this keep bringing me down? Do I want to keep feeling the way I'm feeling?
The renting the space in my head and not even paying me for it.
Yeah, and easier said than done.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I remember, I'm almost positive that's what sparked us having one-on-one after, was I had said, how the hell do you do this? Mm-hmm. Like, we just keep talking about how. What? Give me step one. Yeah. Like, I'm an analytical, logical thinker. Yeah. What's step one? How do I do it? Well, are you going to let it? Of course I don't want it to rent space in my head.
It's there.
But it's there. How do I get rid of it? Yeah. And one of the things was leaning into gratitude.
Yeah.
Just being grateful that I have the opportunity to spin this a different way now, right? Rather than dwelling on something I can't change anymore.
See, I tell people all the time too, it's like, you got to have acceptance. So how? Okay, well, here's the thing. I got to take what's happened, know that there's no changing it. Okay, so we'll talk about the molestation as a kid. Yeah. Okay, so another boy touched me, right? Okay, so it fucking happened. Before, I used to use that as an anger to attack or to fucking do things, and then, or pity myself. Right, so this one thing could be the result of 100 or 1,000 different feelings, or like, fucking, feel bad for me, this happened to me, or come here, you piece of shit, I'll show you because this happened to me. You know what I mean? It's like I could carry on and on and on and on.
You're creating more problems and more things that you have to live with.
Yeah, and then more shit that I got to remember. Exactly. Yeah. So I had to sit back and just say, all right, well, there's no fucking changing it, whatever it is, whatever the scenario is. Okay, I can't change it. Even if it happened 5 minutes ago, you can't change it. So I have to have acceptance. All right, that's a fact. It's not changing. It's done. Then what's the next step? Well, I guess I have to talk about it. I have to feel now what that feels like. You know what I mean? And I got to allow other people to kind of direct me or help me, right? And if I don't talk about it, no one's ever going to know I'm going through it.
Yeah.
And if I don't fucking speak about it or go through it, then I'm never going to finish with it. That's a form of, like, being stuck on it. Like, so now,
if you knew how to get rid of it, you would have already done it.
Right.
So obviously you need something else now.
Exactly. So why are we so stuck as a person to think, like, I'm so stubborn as a fucking man, I don't need your fucking help. I used to call it the opposites game. Whatever I tell you, it's the exact opposite. Like, the exact opposite. I don't want your fucking help. I don't need your fucking help. Fuck off. I'm actually saying, I want your help. I need your help. Please don't leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the truth of it. And it's like, I could see it in other people now, and I'm like, he's absolutely, totally telling you what he needs, but he's not saying it in the right words.
Yeah.
It's
tough to be vulnerable, especially as a guy.
Yeah, it is.
And men that are coming from the environments that they're coming from.
This invisible armor's on, and now there's a chink in it? Mm-hmm. Wow. Not only was it see-through, now it's dented?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. And then most guys, I know I was one, and then my guard went up even worse.
Yeah.
Because when I first got here, I was quiet.
Yeah.
Didn't hear a word. I'd sit in group. I answer things yes and no, and that was about it.
I remember.
And then there was a chink in the armor, and then I started becoming more abrasive and combative about everything, whether it was with counselors or other guys on program or even alumni.
And that represented growth.
Yeah, but
it doesn't feel like it.
Exactly, right? And then eventually it's just realizing, like, trying to cover this spot and just, I'm getting worse. Like, that where that chink is in the armor, I'm just trying to block that one vulnerability and just look foolish.
Everyone can see all the other ones anyway, so what's it matter? Like, you can see who I am.
Yeah, and what am I protecting? I'm protecting an identity I hated.
It's an image of self.
Yeah, and I hated that self. So why am I protecting it?
Right.
And
so confusing. It's such a simple thing, but so hard to do, right?
Yeah.
And like, I remember being put in a position where it was like, either I do this or I'm gonna get kicked out, or I'm going to quit. So it's either do or don't. You know what I mean? Like, do it or fucking don't. Like, you're either both feet in or like just there's the door, right? It doesn't say fucking you must stay on the exit sign.
No.
It actually says exit. You know, it doesn't say you're trapped here forever. It says exit.
Mm-hmm.
I use that in group a couple times too. I'm like, if you look above that door, it says EXIT. I'm allowed to leave. You know what I mean? Like, the door fucking opens. There's no lock on it whatsoever. If I really want to complain and just, if it's just a difference. If you're in self-pity, you're not talking about nothing. It's like when you're complaining about something, you can be in self-pity. But if you're talking about it to find a solution and complaining, you're actually doing the opposite of what self-pity is. It's like you're getting out of it by saying, I don't know what the fuck I feel like this for, like you were just saying.
And saying you don't want to feel it.
Yeah, exactly.
You want them to do something about it.
Some people need to say the same shit over and over and over and over again until they can actually hear it.
Yeah.
There's a difference between talking, listening, and hearing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found that was a huge part for myself in finding forgiveness, was acceptance and then hearing.
Well, that's the key for me. If I had to summarize recovery in one word, at least what it's looked like for me, it's acceptance.
Yeah.
If you look at every topic that we've had, I had shared this on the mic with the guys a couple weeks ago. I was like Peter Program on program, but my one rule break I had for my last 10 weeks that I was here is I had a piece of paper and a pen in my drawer. We weren't allowed to have that at that time.
Yeah, no writing.
And I would write what the topic was, and if there was key phrases or key words that really got me, I'd write them next to it. Every week I had the word acceptance.
Wow.
And at the end of it, I realized, like,
acceptance.
like, I had acceptance under all of forgiveness, accepting this thing that I need to forgive. I can't change it, right? And self-pity.
You gotta accept where you're at.
Yeah, I have to accept, like, hey, this is what happened. Like, am I gonna feel like shit about it, or am I gonna go do something?
Yeah, that was the good question. What am I going to do about it?
Yeah, and everything's come down to acceptance, right?
Yeah.
Even just the premise of the fellowship here in the community, right, is feeling accepted.
Yeah.
Into this and accepting other people for where they're at and accepting the things that they've done.
I dub thee, sir. Right? You now belong. Fucking a knighthood of the alumni.
And there's no way so being born in Windsor, my grandparents, my nona, like where my parents and I lived when they were married, is around the corner from here.
Right.
This was a nut house or a cult my whole life.
My whole life. That's what I
There's
thought.
no way I'm ever going anywhere near that place. They haven't been able to get rid of me.
Yeah. Now you came and you'll never go.
And I do think there's something to be said about leaning into some of the character defects at certain points, at least for myself. Like, my stubborn ego is the only reason I stuck around long enough to now do it for genuine reason.
Right.
For myself and for others.
So look at that, eh? Ego negative, ego positive.
Yeah, there's a positive to
everything. I say that to people all the time too. I think you were one of the people that opened that up. Why do we always have to look at the fucking negative of every topic?
Self-will, me too.
What about the positive? That's what it was. Why can't we look at the positives of self-will? I used it to make money, to feed my kids, to get their hockey practice. I remember you going off, bro.
Yeah, because self-will is all about doing everything for yourself. No, self-will is my motivation. And I do now see, like, how to distinguish between the two. But
you're trying to get you to just break down the negative parts of your personality, right? Get to your character defects.
Justifying and thinking I have no defect or not looking at my defect is what got me here.
Right.
I get why we have to do that, right? But I have seen...
Time out for a second. I really want to just look at my ego for a second. What about the positives of this stuff?
Yeah. Wait, can we all just pat me on the back really quick for everything?
Just bake me a cake. I'll get over it.
You know, I got here because of how great I was.
At doing bad things.
Yeah, that's
the thing too. I tell people all the time, I'm like, hey, so if I would have practiced skating and shooting and stick handling for 25 years, I'd be Connor fucking McDavid.
Instead,
I said, but I practiced doing cocaine, sleeping with hookers, and fucking partying. So yeah, I was a good criminal. I was fucked. Problems.
Yeah, and I remember that aspect being part of why I didn't think I belonged here. I remember calling my dad saying, you know, I wouldn't share details of what guys were sharing, but I'm like, you got to hear the heinous shit these guys. I'm not as bad as these guys. This is not. And this was all me justifying going to Westover, right? Because it was all about the substance part. And I wanted the easy way. It was 21 days.
That's right.
To me, I knew I could coast through it.
That's right.
And I remember my dad, who was like squeaky clean. He's a grade school teacher. He was a Sunday school teacher. Yeah. Like, squeaky clean guy. Has no idea about this world at all. And his remark to me was, the only difference between you and them is they got caught.
That's right. And that's, thank God for that.
Had to humble me up. Right?
Well, thank God for that. Because like, if he had a fucking co-signed your bullshit, you might not have stayed.
No, there's no way I would have got it.
Look how many fucking people are helped because of you today. And I'm going to say that, like, maybe guys aren't allowed to go to baseball on permissions anymore, but at least you took them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just found out about my cousin on permission. She came to our baseball. That's not allowed, right?
Yeah.
So she came this weekend.
I just figured they were allowed.
No, it's nonsense. Other things happen, though. I'm not going to get into it because it's kind of embarrassing for certain people, and it's like fucking like getting involved with other people's business for no reason. But it's like, realistically, just getting involved with the guys to bring them out on permissions, even to show them what recovery baseball is like, having a team in recovery for the recovery home. Like, that's the only reason why I'm jealous I'm not on your team. It's because this is my fucking home. I don't give a fuck who put it together. I couldn't care less if we were in the bottom of the basement. You know, lose every fucking game, which you guys are pretty good and you're not losing. But it's like, buddy, when this first started, I was like, I don't fucking care how shitty that team is. That's my fucking home. You know what I mean?
That's been...
But you're doing it. You're helping people.
It's been big. It's been big for my own growth.
Bro, not even... Let's just look at the people that are on the team. Like, how well you guys play together, okay? And then look at the families that come out and watch.
Well,
look, like,
that's exactly it, man.
Bro, I seen Paul out there numerous weeks. I'm like, what?
Yeah, my group leader that I told didn't know the difference between his asses.
Right, same thing with me, bro. Telling him where to go, how to get there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's like, yeah, buddy, like, fuck you, just give him time. I don't know what time he had to give me, but he gave it to me. And now he's asked, okay, after watching the podcast, he's coming on the 29th. So I'm just like, yeah, you see, oh, wow. That's what I mean. That's exactly how it felt right here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, fucking cool, man.
It is crazy. Like, looking at everything in hindsight, and that's probably one of the best positives to trying to do my best at living in recovery.
Yeah.
And for me, recovery is not staying clean. It's the cliche of, do the next right thing. Do the best that you can.
Yeah,
do the next
daily,
right thing.
like working on, I'm not going to say daily inventories, I'll say working on myself daily as soon as your feet hit the ground. It's like getting up and not just living for me. I can live for myself, but as I'm doing things, am I also going to include other people?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I can be a little bit selfish, but like, let's be realistic. If I'm making breakfast, I got to make it for my wife and my kids or whatever the fuck's going on around me. Include people in my day-to-day.
You're not just growing for yourself.
Right.
Too, right? Like, yes, you want to go to work, you need to make money, but you're doing that to have the resources to help other people.
And enjoy moments with other people. Yeah, exactly. Like, if I can take a guy out for lunch, fucking do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, those are the opportunities, right? Like you were talking about that this place affords us.
Yeah.
Even extra training and stuff that they brought in.
Yeah, the peer support, even the diversity inclusivity committee, the alumni engagement committee, the social committee. Like, we're talking about different things, like, in general, that this place has to offer that allow us as graduates to go right into volunteering.
Yeah,
it's fucking wicked.
You're sitting there having to talk about all the crappy things you did.
Right.
Now but you're still around those people that know them.
And you're doing positive shit.
And I think that was imperative for me, sitting in group, and once I just peeled all the layers off, and I was just ignorant of them.
When the fuck did you ever think you'd say that in a sentence? Once I peeled all my layers back.
Yeah, never.
Right.
Saying like, I got my girlfriend pregnant in high school.
Right. So you started young.
I told my dad 36 hours before he was born.
Wow.
Right? And, my mom found out 2.5 hours before he was born.
Wow.
My grandparents found out as he was born.
So they didn't even know you were pregnant? Well, not you, but
yeah,
the girl.
Nobody knew, right?
You did everything alone.
I tried.
See, I was the opposite. If I had an issue, I would tell you right away so I could get as much from you as possible. Which is kind of like sideways in a bit.
I would, not that I know for sure because I'm still messed up to be able to self-diagnose myself, but I'm a walking contradiction. And on one foot, it was like I didn't want to be a burden and I felt so shitty about myself. But on the other foot, it was like I had this ego, so I couldn't let you know that I had problems.
Yeah, and I'm going to do everything by myself for myself.
Yeah. Yeah, part of it was I want to look good, but the other part was I was worried about being a burden.
Right.
Like being the oldest, being the only boy.
Yeah.
I created expectations for myself.
Right.
And then when things weren't going my way, which is inevitable for everybody, it was not handling those things properly that I think led me to addiction.
Right. And advice, okay, do you ever look at it this way? Like criticisms, like I'm not fucking listening to that shit. And then it's like it became constructive criticism where you could listen to it, take it, and then use it to your...
That's been recovery, man.
That's recovery.
Sitting in a group,
so I can sit
across from a guy that I love and respect, and we can spend all of our free time together, and then maybe I say something in group, or even just say something on the yard, and he calls me out.
Yeah.
The old me, rip him apart.
And we ain't friends
I
anymore.
would point out everything he did wrong.
Like you said, using that information against him.
You to tell me you just did this, and now looking at it like, man, this guy's heard how heinous I can be, how idiotic.
He's just trying to help me.
And he's still up. But he cares. Like, he's doing it from a genuine place, not doing it to knock me down.
Yeah.
And having that environment, having that fellowship of people, that's what's kept me going into this.
It's weird.
I can stay clean.
It's a good weird. It's a good weird. Okay, so
clean,
we're about to wrap this up. I just want to get to favorite topic and why. Favorite topic and why. Something that hits you, I guess.
I mean, there's a million different reasons. I'll go with last week's meaning and purpose, and for me,
I fucking knew it. I did.
So that was the first time I had to go on the mic. They started it that day.
I should have wrote it down. I swear to God, I should have wrote it down.
Yeah, when I was on program, it was just 2 alumni would talk, and then week 4 or 5, whatever it was, when meaning and purpose came up.
Yeah.
That day it was Paul, and instead of 2 alumni, it was 1 guy on program. 1 alumni, and of course Paul calls me out after I had an existential crisis Monday morning about the topic, right? Like, well, yeah, I'm supposed to cure cancer, solve fucking world hunger, and like, you know, I was spinning it. The reason I like that one,
you should have been here at 10 o'clock. Guy said that on the mic.
Did he?
Yeah, he's like, last week's topic, he's like, and I'm supposed to be this guy that solves world hunger and da-da-da.
Yeah, that's how I felt. And if I didn't do that, if I in my disease, if I wasn't the guy that was doing that extreme thing, I'm a failure.
That's that. You know what they call that? Being manic. It's either nothing or 100 and real quick.
Yeah, and it has to be quick.
So you can go from 100 to 0 quick, or you can go from 0 to 100 real quick. Everything's manic.
And once I started using and separating myself from everybody around me, I just lived at 0.
So what did you get out of meaning and purpose, and what does it mean to you today?
Well, that's what I love about it, is that to me it changes every time the topic comes up and throughout the week. I think that's why I like that one, is there's so many angles to it. What I'm leaning into right now, what I shared about last night with the guys, was if I simplify it and I start with looking at that priority list in recovery, and I just look at what's my meaning and purpose at that top part, the recovery part. My meaning and purpose is to be a good example and to be vulnerable, which is both ends of the spectrum, right? Being helpable and helpful.
That's right.
And as long as I'm fulfilling that, I feel better inside, and I can go be a good dad. I can be a good employer. I can be a good employee.
Good son.
Yeah.
Good brother, whatever.
And that's, for me, that's where it starts, right? And then it's finding meaning and purpose in everything else. I'm going to baseball. Is my meaning and purpose to be a tyrant? Or is my meaning and purpose to, yes, we want to, the team wants to win. I'm going to help us win. But there's a way to do it. Do I want people to go home and dread coming back next week?
Right.
Or do I want them to come and bring their wife and kids, like we're seeing happen now, right? Where at the beginning of the year, I don't think anybody would have. Even, and I'm saying that based on how my reactions and actions were, right? And it's helped, right? Getting put into those positions or those roles has helped me see myself spike in the wrong way,
right,
and then correct it.
But not only that, too, it's like not quitting and continuing and correcting that behavior. Meaning and purpose. Okay, so they said there's a thought part of it, and then there's the action part of it. So the meaning is like the road to hell was paved with good intentions. Okay, so I always meant well, right?
Yeah.
Like I always mean to do somewhat okay in whatever the fuck it is I'm doing, but it always ended up bad because it's like Tom said it today at the mic. I'm a great starter, not so much a finisher. Start 1,000 projects, not one of them's complete.
Yep.
Right? So it's like, what is my meaning today? It's like, okay, so finding that gratitude, like you said, to keep moving forward. What mistakes are made, I'm still going to show up. So you're not quitting. There's a meaning in the day right there. Whatever it is, I'm committed to, I'm going to do it. Showing up for the podcast. You meant to do that at 8 a.m. Whenever you got up, you're here. So your purpose is the action part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Getting that purpose-filled fucking, the meaning of it, right? It's like, I meant to do this, but I'm going to come up with 1,000 excuses not to. Well, there's no purpose in my life then. You know what I mean? No one's going to call upon you if you don't show up, right?
Yeah.
No one's going to, time and time again, this guy just keeps letting me down, fuck him.
Yeah,
right?
eventually.
And then it becomes that I pushed so many people out of my life and started isolating. It's like, well, yeah, you could see that coming a mile away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the fucking things we were doing, right? So I'm glad that you said that because it's my favorite topic as well.
Yeah.
I literally was thinking I should write this fucking down because I bet he's going to say meaning and purpose.
Yeah, it's definitely that one.
If you had to say something to people out there struggling, or if you had to really, give it a minute or so to think about it or whatever, but if you had to look at the camera, something to say, what would you say?
Wow, that's deep.
It is.
Oh my God.
Sometimes I think, like, putting myself in the perspective of my father or someone that really, tried to talk to me when I was younger and I didn't listen.
I think the part, and it might come off egotistical, but the way I feel the words now are different, and it's like you have a meaning. People need you. There's somebody out there that needs you still, and I wasn't willing to look at that, right? Trying to take my own life. I had 2 kids, 6 little sisters, and I felt like more of a burden than anything, and that kept me in my substance use and was leading me back.
Kept you sick.
Yeah, it kept me sick, and it was impossible to grow, right? Being teachable, if you want to get into recovery, first piece of advice I'd give it, you just have to be teachable. Just shut up. Go in like you know nothing, and there's always going to be somebody there to correct it, and the things that you'll just get confirmation that you were right? But that was a big turning point for me when it was like, I think I know what this guy's going to tell me, but I'm just going to sit down and listen to it.
Yeah.
And when he tells me it, then I can even feel good about myself.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah, like, okay, so I'm not way off base here. Right. I'm not nuts. Yeah. Well, completely.
I have some knowledge.
Like, I do have something in there, but because all I could see by the end of my run before I got here was everything I did was fucked.
So basically, hold on to hope. Like, if you have hope, don't let go of life in general. If there's a meaning for you, it is to know that you do matter somewhere out there. There's people out there that love you, like you were saying.
Yeah. And you might not have even met that person, those people yet. The people
it's like, okay, there's one for you. You want to quit on yourself. You might not even know the potential of what your life could have been, or who you can affect in the future, or who you might have met, and the life you could have had with them.
Yeah, my closest friends I didn't know.
Right, 100%. There's a kicker there for you. It's like giving yourself a chance for time to heal your wounds, or giving yourself a chance to be loved. Give yourself a chance to experience. Give yourself a chance. Yeah, give yourself a fucking chance. Yeah, right? Yeah, I like that. I really appreciate that, John. Thank you for coming on, buddy. And don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, all that other stuff. You know how it goes. Anyways, thank you, YouTube.